Fancy on the track, boy.
You the one, and the two, and the three, four. Let me down when I found everything slow. Ain't nobody else around you, elite though. Put the seed in the ground, help me grow. On me, you deserve everything. I be thinking about the world.
What do we even say?
You're good. Welcome to. No. She I was gonna do it, then she did it. So I'm like, okay. We don't have to both clap. There'll be too many claps.
Okay. Welcome back to Terminal 234. It's Fey A with.
And I am Dolapo. We said we're never gonna introduce it like this, but it's okay. It's been like a year and a half.
You're supposed to just say Dolapo. Why'd you say Anaya?
Because we had a whole thing and we said we're not gonna say
with. Come on,
because it's an awkward transition. Because now I'm like,
is this really how we're gonna start it? Is
Why
this
not?
really okay? We're gonna do it again. You can keep that in, but we're gonna do it again.
Okay.
And you start it then.
All right. Welcome to Terminal 234. I am Dolapo.
And I am Fey.
All right. We are glad to have you here with us. It's been a long time.
It has been a long time. It's been too long.
Yes.
It's been what, like a year and a half or something?
So I checked because, we wanted to be factually correct.
Okay.
And the last episode that we posted was in October of 2023.
Oh, okay.
So not quite a year and a half, a little over a year.
That's better than I thought.
But who knows when this will be released? It might be a year and a half. I'm just joking.
At the very least, it has to be before the end of the year. So we have a few weeks.
Yeah. What's up? What's going on? What's been going on with you in that whole gap, that year and 2 months?
I feel like your year and couple months has been more exciting, but I guess I will start so that you can end us on a high note. Not much has been happening for me.
Okay.
I mean, what has happened? Just life, just working, just living. Nothing super big. I moved. That was like a little bit of a change.
Okay, nice.
I guess to other people, the fact that I turned 30 really recently is a big deal. To
Fey.
me, I'm just like, it's another
people.
Age. Yeah, no,
Everybody's
like making it a thing. Oh, welcome to the third floor. But for me, I'm just like, okay, here I am. I've been telling everybody, I think it's because I have felt like 30 for a while now.
But you haven't been 30
You're
for
right.
like a couple of days.
Yes, it's literally
Like, what?
it's literally been a few days. But no, I think it's because I'm serious when I say like my best of friends have been 30 for a couple of years now. I celebrated all their 30ths with them.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm like, I turned 30 during that year.
I see what you're saying, but it's like if all your friends get married and you're like, I feel like I'm married, but
it's
how?
different. Now
You're
you need a
not
whole
married?
partner.
But all your friends have kids. You're like, I feel like I have. You don't have
not
kids. That doesn't work.
Not the same, rather. That involves literally different human beings. Whereas age, I feel like it's just a different mindset. Everybody's like, when you turn 30, it feels different. And
you've been hanging out with a 30-year-old crew, so you felt like you were.
So my mindset has been there. Yeah, I'm like, I'm mature. I'm not old. I'm just mature.
Oh yeah, people tell you that.
I mean, that's how I feel.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I
thought your friends tell you that.
No.
Okay.
They haven't told me.
Nice.
That,
Well, happy birthday, happy 30th. Welcome to the third floor. I've never heard anyone say that before. That's
really.
I mean, that's just weird, I think. But welcome to the third floor.
Oh my God, that is so.
Life starts at 40, so your life has not started yet. But how does it feel to be 30?
I just told you. It doesn't feel that different.
It doesn't feel different.
It really doesn't feel that different.
Okay. Do you feel like a lot of people have like those goals of like when I'm 30, I want to be blank. Like,
you know what? I think that's why it doesn't feel that different because I didn't have like exact like I guess images or visions exactly of what I would be doing at 30. Yeah. And I think whatever I thought I would be doing at 30, I've been doing for some time now. Does that make sense? Like when I was young, I don't think I saw myself past like 25, 26.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have met whatever goals I had then and even exceeded them.
Okay.
So I'm like, I just feel like an adult. And I felt like an adult for a while now. I don't feel different. Okay. I don't know.
No, that's fair. I mean, when I turned 30, it didn't feel like
forever ago.
Yeah. No, really. It's a long ass time ago. Like I was about to lie, but let me not lie. But no, it's like I was about to say I'm closer to 40 than 30, but that's actually not true. But I feel that way. So I guess to your point,
I mean? Yeah.
I feel like I'm old. Like I said, life starts at 40. So our lives have not begun yet.
Okay, whatever you say.
So nice.
Okay. So now you tell us what you've been up to.
What have I been up to since the last time that we recorded? So I got engaged, but it wasn't. That was before.
It was. I think it.
It was Labor Day weekend of 2023. I don't remember when we actually recorded because we recorded kind of weirdly last season.
Yeah, we were.
So it's possible that it was
schedule. But I do think we mentioned it briefly on an episode. I think.
I honestly can't remember. So just a lot of like wedding planning and stuff. So I have like wedding planning is a job on its own. So I just I'm learning that job and very stressful, but rewarding, I guess, in the end, right?
Okay, what's stressful about it? What's rewarding about it?
What's stressful about it? Trying to coordinate a bunch of stuff with a bunch of different people, and then the financial implications of it. Because it might sound stupid, maybe I'm the stupid one here, but I'm like, I didn't really plan like financially, like, oh yeah, I'm going to have this money for a wedding. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, like I want to get married, but I'm not thinking like, oh, I need to save this for this event. So it's like, it feels like an extra expense where it's like, oh, like I didn't plan all this. Like what? Like this is not what I had in mind. So of course, like the year plus is supposed to be for that, but like life continues in the midst of all that. And of course, inflation, all those stuff is like, like, I don't know, man. This is not easy. How does everyone do this? Like, people make it look like it's easy because you go to the wedding and the wedding be nice and like, oh, this is so nice. And they did this, they did this. And it's like, yeah, no, like
that costs money.
Being a guest is nice because it's like, oh, like everything is just done. Being involved, I'm like, yeah, I can see how people be like, yeah, the wedding day, they just be ready for it to be over. Like, it sounds weird, but it's like, I can see where that comes from because it could be really stressful.
I know. So like, it sounds really stressful from everything you've said. But how about the rewarding piece? What's rewarding about it? I mean,
what's rewarding for me is not so much about the wedding. Like, the wedding is just marking. It's more of like the marriage part of it. Like, that's, to me, like, that's the important part. So it's kind of funny because, we live in 2024 and we're not really ready to like have these conversations in real life. But like, we all know like the whole wedding industry and all that stuff is like, do we really have to do it this way? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people have their fairy tale. I know, like, they've put it in all these women's heads, all these girls. Honestly, it's not women, girls' head. So by the time you're a woman, like, you don't know anything else. You're like, oh no, like I've always dreamt it would be like this. Whereas like most guys that I know are like, I have no dreams of this. And I don't like, I'm looking at my bank account. I'm like, oh yeah, like we don't have to, we can just go to the court. Let's just, what are we doing here? Everybody knows. That's fine. We can tell everyone, So,
do you think you would have done that? Like in a different, maybe in a different world, in a different time? Like,
I think that I would be open to it, but I do also think there's value in the ceremony. So it's not like I'm saying like the ceremony is like of no use. Like there's definitely a lot of value in it, like having your families there,
exactly, yeah,
all the people that you love and love you, like kind of mark the day. Like it makes it, it makes it like that's what ceremonies are for, right? It's like the Olympics.
Yeah,
they could just start the Olympics. In fact, some of the games in the Olympics start before the opening ceremony,
right?
But the ceremony gets you like, all right, like here we go, like we're really about to do this. It's like true. Sometimes you need those things. So there's value in it. I think it's just because so much value and emphasis has been placed on the ceremony part of it, the event part of it. All these vendors out there just kind of taking advantage. Like I've heard like if you're doing something like, I don't know this, but like let's say you want a makeup artist will charge you this. If you tell the makeup artist, I am part of the bridal party, the price changes.
Yeah, you're
but
right.
I'm like, but the makeup was gonna like the makeup should be makeup
that's
regardless.
How it is. Yeah.
So clearly, again, because they know like, oh, because it's wedding, we can do whatever.
Yeah, no, wedding industry be doing price gouging for sure. Like the event spaces, like if they know it's for a wedding, they'll charge you something different than if it was something else. The decorators, caterers,
everything.
All of it,
photographers, everything. So it's like. That part of it is kind of annoying.
I can imagine. Well, it's coming up soon, so before you know it, the stress of the wedding planning will be over.
Yeah, that's the hope, the belief, the faith, the prayer. But nah, it's good. It's good. I mean, I like planning stuff. I like going through it. It's just, in the moment, it's still kind of like, some days like, oh man, this is a lot. Like, your checklist is like 100 things. I'm like, how am I going to do 100 things within a week? Well, it's not possible, right? So, but otherwise, yeah, nothing new. I haven't changed anything major in my life, I think. I've just been surviving. Getting ready for our new president. I'm excited about.
Oh my God. Why did you bring that up? I really
because I feel like that's like most of our podcast was during his era, funny enough.
That's true.
So, that's our guy.
That's true. Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to begin with this one. You know, I fear your kind now. Like, I fear men, but particularly black men. Like, now I'm not sure who to trust.
But didn't the numbers show that black men were not actually the issue? Like,
it's not that you guys were necessarily the issue, but it's still jarring to me to know the sheer number of black men that did vote for him. Like, it's unprecedented.
So I understand, but this is the only thing I'll say. We don't have to do this because this episode is not about that. Mm-hmm. But I do think that shouldn't there be some room for people that have different opinions? Listen, I'm not even, the thing is, I'm going to sound like I'm on this side of the day when I'm not. Like, for me, I've always told anyone that asks me, the first, like, criteria is, like, you have to be a decent person.
That's my point.
So, for me, I'm like, I don't really care about anything else. Like, once I don't consider you to be decent, then I don't.
It takes you out of the running.
Everything else is like, I don't care.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But let's just put that aside, right? Which is impossible to do. I feel like coming at like any demographic as like, you're supposed to do this, I don't like that energy.
I get what you mean. I guess it's just like, number one, I was going to say that, like the piece about like, you know, it's not that high of a bar to say just be a decent person in order to like, you know, be the leader of, quote, the free world. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, I'm not necessarily putting it on a demographic to think, you know, monotheistically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think it's just, to me, choosing to support somebody that cares little about you and that goes against your better interest. And not only that are they someone that cares little about you, they care little about the people that I would assume you love. Yeah. So a lot of the people, you know, that black men love or, you know, would say that they're protecting or wanting better for are black women or just women in general or, you know, minority groups of all sorts, not just black people. Mm-hmm. I would assume that we're aligned in wanting the best for that group of people. So to me, it's just so jarring that, so you're bucking your responsibility. Like, you should want to protect those that you care about. You should want more for them. It, to me, feels like if you are to support Trump, you're selfish in nature. You're really only thinking about yourself.
So I think that's like,
pockets. That's just my assumption.
No. So I think that is the base reality of all human beings. I feel like what you just said,
you mean?
To me, that's why I'm like,
you're right, but I don't know. I think you're right. Like, most people are selfish. Just all humans, whether you're a good person or not,
all human beings,
you are selfish. Like, it's survival is your number one motivation in life, which is, you know, selfish in nature. I just feel like you gotta kind of take it just a step further when I'm not saying think of the greater good of the whole world. Like I said, I'm thinking you at least want best for those you love, those are around you. Does that make sense? Your immediate circle.
Listen, it makes sense, but like you already said, there is the one reality of all human beings is that you are selfish. Mm-hmm. All to different degrees, of course. Mm-hmm. Some of us have the ability, and some people, let me not say some of us, some people have the ability more than others to consider other people and to sacrifice a little bit of themselves for other people, right? Everyone has that to a different degree, but we all start with what's best for me. And I think that the explanation that like everyone is looking for is like literally is just, what's best for me? Like, you can tell a black man that, hey, this, that, the other, and they're going to be like, when Trump was here, life was good for me.
Well, I guess to put it frankly, I mean, and this is going to lack a bit of humility on my part, but I do feel like I'm a relatively intelligent person. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like if you are to vote for Trump as a black person,
that's what you shouldn't do.
I'm scared to say what I don't want to say it.
But exactly.
But you picking up what I'm putting down. Like I said, lacks humility, but I do think you are choosing to vote against your better interest. I think that you might think you're making a rational decision, a decision that is going to benefit you in the long run. But I'm going to say, from my vantage point, you're not making a good decision for yourself. Even like, even if if it is completely selfish, even if it is 100% selfish, you are not making a good decision. Like, he's not actually going to benefit you.
I mean, I think that it's one of those, like, we'll see, right? It's one of those we'll see, and it's one of those that no matter what, you can't convince people that they don't know what they think they know. Yeah. And vice versa.
And vice versa. So it goes both ways. Like, they can't convince me that I know
exactly.
something that
Exactly. I just think, everyone has made their choices, right? They've spoken and they've said that's what they want. So we'll see. We'll survive. That's my feeling. Mm-hmm. What are we talking about this episode? Because this was not on the plan.
It wasn't on the agenda, but it's hard to, do a catch up and not bring it up. So good on you for bringing it up. the main topic, I guess, the thing we wanted to talk about, we felt like would be a good time to talk about is just friendships. I think, especially given what we just talked about, I think the era that we're in lends itself, I mean, beyond the Trump of it all, even you getting married and me turning 30, in what I said, it involved friendships. And you getting married, you're obviously leaning on friends or expecting friends to celebrate with you and all that. Yeah. And then in the Trump era of it all, like, I mean, I've heard, the biggest advice I've heard is just, loving the people you love and, take them on a ride with you and survive with them, So, yeah, like, I guess we're going to be talking all about friendships. I feel like that's going to take us into 2025. And nurturing friendships and hoping that they go well.
Yeah. So I have a question for you on the topic of friendship. What is a friend?
Oh my god. Wow, that's a stumper. How would I word it? It's not like, I feel like we all kind of just innately know what it is, but not to put words to it. A friend, I guess, is just someone you connect with, to keep it basic. Like, you connect with on some level. It doesn't always have to be super deep. Like, there are friendships that are a little bit more surfaceful. But yeah, you just connect with them, whether it's through humor or through emotional, like, matters or through just enjoyment and having fun with them. Like, it's just some sort of connection with a different human.
Okay. Yeah.
What would you say?
I mean, I would agree, right? I would think that I do think it's a deeper connection because you connect with all kinds of people, right? And I think we all let me not say we all. I recognize some people that have a million friends where in reality, they're not really that close to any of them. And I always kind of judge, quote unquote, those friendships of you're friends with everyone, but like maybe you're not really friends with anyone. Because to me, I think of friendship as being a little bit deeper. We don't have to be best friends. Like, this is not like everyone is your best friend. They know everything about your life kind of thing. But just someone that like you are at peace with each other. You understand each other. Your connections are whatever they are. And you genuinely enjoy each other's presence whenever that is, right? Like, you don't always have to be present, but when you're present, it's enjoyed. And you look forward to it. It's not like...
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said in terms of, like, your definition. But prior to your definition, you mentioned that it needs to be a little bit deeper. Is that what you said? Or you need to be closer? And I'm like, everything you said doesn't necessarily mean it has to be that deeper close. Like, you can kind of just enjoy somebody's company, be at peace with them, like, have some sort of connection with them. And it's not like you have the deepest relationship. Like, they might not know some of, like, your insecurities. Yeah. So
I guess deeper is a relative word, right? So when I'm saying that word, I'm thinking of, like, people that, let's say, for example, someone that you work with, you see, let's just say you see every day. Yeah. And you guys both like sports. Yeah. That might not be your friend, though. Right? Like, that might be someone that, like...
Right. That's like an acquaintance, co-worker, colleague. Like,
exactly.
Yeah,
so that's... When I say deeper, that's relative to that.
Step further.
It's relative to that, exactly. Because you can find connections with everyone in the world. That's actually the beauty of the world, is that if you try hard enough, you are connected to everyone in some way. We choose people that, of course, we feel more connected to, or that we value those types of connections better, right? Because you have someone that's like exactly like you live the exact same life, but you might just not be friends. But like, I just don't like the way that you came out of all that versus the way that I came out of it, right? Okay, so fair. Yeah, I think that's what friends are.
It's like next level connection. Yeah, like, just a step further than baseline.
Of course, yeah, because not everyone. I mean, I consider myself to not have a lot of friends. Because I don't think there's a lot of people that's like, oh, like, I'm really super... And again, I hate to use super close, because back to your point, it doesn't have to be super close. Yeah. But I feel like there's not a lot of people that, like, for example, it's not a lot of people that I'm just calling, hitting up randomly. Call, text, whatever, right? They're just like, oh, like, this is a person, like, I would just talk to. Like, out the blue for whatever reason. And vice versa. Like, there's not a lot of people that's like that. To me, that's not the bar at all. But that is a measurement of friendship. Of like,
yeah, that makes sense.
How friends are we really? Right? Like, how friends are we really? Because if you texted me, I would be like, oh, why is this person texting me?
Right.
That's, to me, I'm okay. Like, maybe you're not my friend like that. But I like people. So as much as I feel like I don't have friends, I also feel like I want everyone to be my friend.
I also understood your earlier point, though, of like, maybe it's not judgy, but I do side eye people who are like, oh yeah, like meet my friend, or like, oh, like my friend at this place or my friend from that place, and it's like, but you guys don't really, I mean, from what I know, you guys don't really know each other, like, or so quick, like you've known somebody for a week or whatever, and they're like, oh, they're describing you as a friend. I'm like, we just met. Like, I don't know if we're friends like that yet, but but there are people that you kind of have immediate connections with in a way where it's like, it is like maybe only a week has passed by and you're like, you know what? Like, we just hit it off so immediately. Like, I can tell that I have like this comfort level with them that I don't have naturally with other people. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So with that said, I know prior to talking, we mentioned like, how do we measure friendships? Like, is longevity the main factor, or what other things are in the sauce? I think per what you just said, it sounds like for you, you're measuring it off of baseline, like we have like a deeper connection than I think that if I had to measure it,
I would say comfort is the word that comes to mind right now, because to your point, like maybe we don't have like a million years of friendship or whatever, but like if I'm comfortable around you where I can really just be myself, like you're my friend, like for me, right? Some people are themselves no matter what, like they don't care, they're gonna be like you, and those kinds of people usually have a bunch of friends because they're themselves, so everyone feels like, oh, like you're really yourself. So then it rubs up on them. It's like they don't, not that they don't care about you, but like they're them regardless. For me, I consider myself a little more reserved in terms of that. Like if I'm comfortable around you and I can really just be myself, then you're definitely my friend, right? Like I think that's how I would measure it. The level of comfort, because there's some people that, again, I might be around, but I'm not super comfortable around, and not like there's nothing wrong. I just know that I'm more reserved. Yeah. I'm not like your guard isn't down
completely. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Is there any element of longevity?
Of course. I think longevity for me comes more into experiences and like I want to say like different life phases, right? Because like experiences in whatever you experience together, right? Yeah. So someone that you're friends with for like a week could be like, yo, we were stuck in that one house and that one mountain for a week. Yeah. That's going to be your friend probably because you've been through something together. You've had that experience, right? Or even, we took a trip together. Like a lot of friendships start that way because it's like a friend of a friend, but you had that week and and that's all you go back to, right? Like you might never see them, but every time you see them, remember that, like, you know, because that's your experience, that's what you're built on. And I think different life phases, because when you look back, you're like, I remember when I was in college, or I remember you were there, you know, like that. Even if your experiences were different and there's not a specific memory, just the fact that that person was there for that phase of your life, I feel like makes that connection feel deeper of like, like you were there. Like, I've known you since blah, blah, blah.
Okay. I appreciate that. Comfort, longevity, two pieces of, I guess, measurement. I'm trying to think. I feel like for me, there's another element, and that would be like shared values. But that one, I would say, is where you like turn up the friendship level, turn it up or down based on shared values. So like, you're probably less of a close friend to me if we don't have certain shared values. Like that is something that I think is, I guess, like a baseline requirement for me to consider you a close friend, is that we have shared values.
So when you say shared values, are these stated or like
no, they're kind of innate. I mean, I think to briefly bring up our recent presidential election, that was like a very overt way to measure. Like there are.
So you're one of those people that's like, if you feel this way, then we can't be friends.
Either we can't be friends, or depending, like it changes how I view you, and like it does create distance. Like you've probably now dropped down several notches. Like, because I will say there are people that I might have had history with, long history with, so I can't just flip the switch. Like I still care about you, I still love you. Like if you showed up on my doorstep, I'm not gonna be like, it'll go away. But it changes how I view you, just because for me it's never just that you voted for John. Usually I've had the discussion of why, and then the whys are like, okay, that's indicative of a disconnect. Like you're not seeing things the way I'm seeing things. Like you, just to use an example, I might think you don't have the level of empathy I have, or that I would want you to have as a friend of mine. You know what I mean? I don't know that we need to get into specifics there, but I guess, yeah. So like that is like a very overt, like, obvious way. But then like more low key ways of knowing like shared values are like, again, like if I am in a tight spot, like, or if I'm sharing something with you, are you judging? Are you stepping up to the plate? Are you I don't know, are you like just an empathetic person generally? Yeah. Are you like mindful and considerate of other people's feelings? You know, those type of things. Like, are you, like, it could be as basic as, are you considerate of my time? Like, are you putting in as much effort? You know, those are like indications of values, even if you're not like overtly stating it. Yeah.
I mean, I think that makes sense, right? I think like part of what you're saying is the other party kind of valuing you and being able to relate to you, right? Not just being all about themselves, right? Like, I think of empathy in that way. Whereas like, can you understand what someone else is going through, right? That's empathy, basically. Yeah. So you care a lot about that, which makes sense. I do think it's, you know, I think
but it isn't, just to add to that, it doesn't have to be necessarily towards me. So like, I'm saying like a shared value is like, I try to be a generally empathetic person, or I try to be not judgmental of people. So I would want to see that reflected in my friends' actions. Like, it doesn't have to be towards me. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you showed empathy towards me or you're not judging me. I mean, obviously, if you do those things towards me, then I assume you're doing it for other people as well. But it's fine to me to like, okay, maybe I haven't given you a reason to not judge me. Like, maybe we just, I don't know, exemplify anything that would make you judge me. But I want to see that, okay, as you're talking about other people or like observing the world around you, you're not passing judgment. Like, that tells me a lot about you as a person.
Okay. I mean, I see that. I think that it's one of those things that when you say it out and like you compare it, there's always going to be like, in my mind, I want to be like, no, but, you know, everyone is different, right?
Yeah.
Everyone is different.
What's the but for you?
Well, the but for me is just that we're all different people. Right. So everyone's like values I understand, but the way that everyone like the way that their values are exhibited is different.
Gonna be different.
Right? It's gonna be different. And just because your values are not necessarily completely aligned with mine, right? Doesn't mean that we can't be friends. Like, of course,
well, that's what I said. It dials up or down. Like, that you get, like, maybe there are certain ways where we disconnect, like I said, like maybe you voted for Trump and there's reasons there that I find to be unaligned with how I view the world. That doesn't necessarily mean, okay, especially if we have history. That doesn't mean I'm never speaking to you again and you're not like somebody I care about, Again, it just changes. So it dials up for me, like our friendship level, the amount of closeness I think we can reach dials up for me if we have those values, like those shared values. And it doesn't have to be 100%. Like, there's gonna be things like, I mean, there's people.
I guess that's what I'm thinking. I'm just like,
I don't know that there's anything I said that made that. I hope it didn't come across as then we have to be 100% in lockstep, because I have friends of all differing views.
Exactly. That's what my mind is going to. It's like, we're gonna be, you know, like we're gonna be different, and the differences are part of the beauty, right? It's good to like. You don't want friends that you never disagree because you all think the same thing. So it's like, oh, we just all agree. And then, like, you have to disagree. You have to argue. You like to argue. So there's no way that,
I feel like values are different from viewpoints. Values, I mean, like, things like, again, like, we can see me and you might disagree on any subject matter. Okay. But fundamentally, for example, you're not going to disrespect me or judge me because of my, like,
right.
Like, you're not going to say I'm, like, now you're not going to say I'm an evil person or I'm a vain person or whatever. You're not going to pass judgment. I just know you to be that kind of person that you can see that I disagree with you and not now make rash judgments based on that. Yeah. That to me is the shared value. Okay. Like I said, for me, I would think that, like, for the reason I'm a friend of yours is because generally speaking, I meet like your threshold of being a decent person, which is again goes back to our values in life and like how we move.
No, I agree with that. I mean, the first step is that you have to be a decent person to be my friend, and then you have to be nice enough, and like you have to be interested. Like I have to have interest in your personality or your values or your viewpoints or your whatever, right? I think that like sometimes is a disconnect of. And it has to be mutual, right? Because, like, if I'm interested in what you think, but you don't care what I think, then, like, we can't really be friends. Because, I mean, like, we could be cool kinds of friends, but, like, not really because it's one-sided. You know what I mean? I want to ask you, I saw this thing on X. I don't know if this fits into our conversation, but I call it Twitter, but, you know, because we're doing the podcast, I was like, let me